Where's Paper Mario Partners? Where did you see that? Is that here? There's the condom tier list keeps like trying to force itself on me. Was it on like here it is. I didn't see it because I just saw an egg. These are just multiple segments of a Wiggler. We can totally do this. Are all of them there? I don't want to do it if not all of them there. It looks like too many are there. I'm going to organize them into by game first because otherwise I'm going to get confused. Goombario. So wait a second. You get Goombario, then you get Cooper, then you get Bombette, then you get Lady Bow, then you get Wash, then you get... Oh no, you get Parakarry after Bombette. And then you get Sushi after Wash. That's it. That's all of them from the first game, right? And then you get Goombella. I'm only organizing them by the first 2 games because after that I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of them. So wait a second. You get Goombella. Then you get Koops. Then you get Flurry. I haven't played that game in such a long time. Then you get Flurry. Then you get the Yoshi, I think. Then I think you get Vivian. Then you get Bobbery. And then Miss Mouse is like the secret one, isn't it? Like the optional character. And then like all the rest of these things, these are all like the pixels from Super Paper Mario. This is going to be a very quick tier list, I'll tell you that much. For like some of these things. This is like Tippy. I can't believe I remember your name. They used to call you Jawbone. I love how like I can remember every partner character from the first 2 games. And then like the third game. Am I just like reordering this at this stage? I totally am. Okay, so this is like Origami Crown. This is from Color Splash. What is this Wiggler from? Where is this Wiggler from? It looks like it must be origami thing, right? Oh no, the crown is from Sticker Star. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was from like the origami one because it's like the origami king. So it's like a crown. This bucket is from Color Splash. This is also from... It's not even a complete Wiggler. And what about the Toad? Is that like the Toad? I don't remember this Toad at all. I really don't. So I'm going to do something quick here. Like, I'm going to put, like, a tier list. Like, D is going to be, like, I didn't... D for didn't play. And I'm being nice, right? Because I didn't play these games. The Toad just goes down here because I can't remember you. Sorry. I'm going to put them in didn't play because I never played whatever games they were in. So they're getting a pass. So this bucket from Color. So S is Pippeteer. A stands for awesome. C is for crappy. B is for wait a second, I need something that goes between awesome and crappy. B is for B is for Bane. Banal. B is for banal. B is for anal. Oh god. B is for beautiful Ted. I call him Texas Ted. Beautiful Ted. Alright, to like add a tier. Add a row below. That's my problem. I need to have like didn't play. I need like A awesome, beautiful Ted. Crappy. See, beautiful Ted is too good. That's the problem. B is for, yeah, banal. We'll go with banal because it's like blech. Tippy, you go there. Also, there's like two Tippies, but I think one of them is, look, they can just like have a love in down there and be happy. Like, I don't remember any of these guys. Feel like they try to give them like personalities to a certain extent, if I remember correctly. But like, they're not like part of the story. Like, they don't ever become part of the story. They're just like a thing, you know, just like everyone else in that game. Um, so this paint bucket, you go into banal as the third wheel. Yeah, they're just like some like it's like, oh, we should have a sassy character, so this is the sassy pixel. Oh, we should have like a serious ones. We should have like a macho character, so this is the macho pixel. Oh, we should have like a snooty character, so this is the snooty. Literally, that's what it's like. It's like the like that. That's all it is, and they're just like that's all they are. So the painty old painty tin Ned goes into banal as well. So that means that all the rest of these guys end up getting divided up between between Pippet and Awesome. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's start with like the easy ones, right? I think that it's very easy to put Bobbery into Pippet tier. One, because Bobbery is just cool, really useful. Like, there's a couple of measurements of success here, right? How good are they in battle? How good is their story? And how good is their how good is their kind of like integration into the story? And how good is their personality? Like, I think they're like the three measurements of success. And like Bobbery is like good on all three levels. Like, he's really cool in battle. He has like this sad story, right? And he's also like part of the whole like story weaving of the pirate chapter, which is really cool as well. So he definitely belongs in Awesome. And then like the Yoshi is for me like or he belongs in Pippet. The Yoshi for me is then like Awesome tier and does not kind of get to reach the grace of Pippet tier, precisely because even though it's like a cool character and he seems to have this like and stuff like that, he's only like because like he doesn't really have a story. He just hatched from an egg, right? And then his personality is just like, I'm Scrappy Doo from Scooby Doo. Like, that's all it is. Like, so he has no connection to anything else in the actual world. They like there's just no like and if he's in your party, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna rough him up and let me at him. Like, that's all you have. So even though like he's an awesome character, there's not very much there in terms of the integration into the story world. Miss Mouse is Pippet tier. Like, Miss Mouse, I love the fact that there's like an optional hidden character in the game in the first place. Is she optional? I feel like she is, if I remember correctly. I think. I think she's optional. I always get her, so she's not optional in my book, like de facto. But like, she's so cool. I love how like she shows up like randomly. Yeah, yeah, because there's the badge, right, that she's looking for. Um, I love how she keeps like showing up over and over again, and there's this kind of like, cat and mouse kind of thing going on there where she's not really like a good guy, but she's also not bad. She's like a gentleman thief kind of character, and she has a cool theme as well. She's just badass, and the character design is on point. Like, you have like the little high heels, you have the cool mask. She winks, and she has like the heart shaped like kink in her tail. She's just a really cool character, and she has great personality whenever she shows up, even before she becomes like a partner character. So Miss Mouse is really, really cool. Definitely instant Pippet tier. Then I'm gonna go to Watt. I feel like Watt, for the same reason as the Yoshi, belongs in only Awesome, because like Watt is like that character in in Paper Mario 1, where it's just like, oh, we needed this kind of character, so we like that she's here. You know, it's a baby Sparky. It's a cute character design. The idea that it's like a baby Spark is kind of cute, but again, there's no kind of like fishing what into the story somehow, and that like whole like Shy Guy's toy box chapter is kind of a little bit disjointed anyway. Um, so that's why for me, like, what belongs in awesome tier. In battle, absolutely mind-blowingly awesome, mind-blowingly amazing. Pipit tier in battle, but in terms of the rest, like, there's not really much there. So, um, let's see here. Goombella, I love Goombella's attitude. Like, Goombella is another character where, like, if we think about all three of those like measurements of success, um, Goombella is like, one, has a fantastic personality, um, and great like scripting and great like really good dialogue. Um, Two is also good in battle. Like, even like when you look at all of the tattle like text or whatever, there's so much personality in there, and the way that she really subjectively kind of provides her like analysis on the different enemies, and like insults them and like rags on them and everything. It's like kind of just funny, you know, so it really adds to the world of the game. Her place in the story in terms of her being like a student to Professor, I almost said Professor Schneebly. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? The Goomba with the spirally eyeglasses. Professor Frankly. Frankly, Mr. Shankly. Yeah, that's it. For Schneebly is Jack Black in School of Rock. um, like, she's like his student or whatever. Like, and he's her mentor. So I think that's kind of cool as well. So Goombella belongs in Pipit tier. Um, Vivian as well, like, in pronounced Schneeblay. Um, Also like another like star performance by Joan Cusack, as the principal of the school. Vivian is instant Pipit tier as well, because we see that character development of her being like pretty much bullied by the other like witch sisters or whatever they're called, and then like coming over to our side, and then just being an amazing party member. I really really like that. You see like that character development from like shy and meek and like trod upon, to being able to like stand up for herself. So you really, it's just cool to see, and they're part of like the whole storyline as well. Her like cohort there, so that's just really good as well. There's not really much more to say. I think it's obvious. Um, I'm trying to think who else like belongs in only in awesome, because that's what I'm trying to think of here. Like the one that's like going to give me a lot of trouble here is like Lackalester, because like Lackalester in one way, I really like Lackalester's like character, like, because he's this kind of like this kind of like rebel without a cause kind of character, right? Um, the like in one way I really like him for that, but as again, he's just kind of like randomly inserted into the story, like in that chapter, in like the Flower Fields chapter. It's just like, oh, here's these two Koopa, here's this Koopa, or this Lakitu or whatever. Oh, and now he's a party member. So it's like, that's like a little bit just the same as like what, but I think like the fact that Lackalester has like more personality, I think wins him more points up here to be able to go into Pipit tier. I think he deserves to be there. It's weird, like, I don't know. I find it like very hard. Like, I feel like the only reason like that Lackalester gets to go to Pipit tier is because of the personality. I think even in battle, do you want Lackalester? You go to awesome, because like when I think about in battle, Lackalester doesn't add anything new to being able to Like, there's nothing Lackluster can do that none of the other party members can do already. Like, technically, in terms of if you want to hit every enemy on the screen, Sushi can already do that, you know? Um, and as well, like, as I say, in terms of the story, Lackluster is just, like, inserted. So it's very similar to What, I guess. Um, so, actually, speaking of Sushi is like one character, one partner character that I actually really like. I find like her design is kind of subtle, so it's not very exaggerated, and that's something I kind of like about the Paper Mario designs from the first game in general. Is they're a little bit subtle, you know? They're not like in Paper Mario 2, they put an awful lot more like emphasis on making the characters look unique, and they put like an awful lot more kind of window dressing on them. But in like Paper Mario 1, usually they're just like an enemy with like one or two like additional quirks. Like, and I think Sushi is a good example of that, where like, yeah, she's just like a cheap, but she has like this kind of odd facial expression and this weird like kind of like swept kind of a fin or whatever. So but I kind of like that about the original game. Again, that's like a lot of, that I like about the original Paper Mario game in general, is just that it's there's something kind of charming about its basicness in some aspects, if you know what I mean. Like, and there's something really likable about that, you know. Um, so, and as well, Sushi, I kind of like her character. She has this kind of like rough and ready, brusque kind of personality, which I respond well to. It's just kind of cool. And like in battle, I actually really like her. Like I really use Sushi a lot whenever I play the game. Like I really like that defense cube um move that she has, and like the tidal wave is really good as well. Like Sushi is like surprisingly versatile to be able to, like, you can use the water spit move to hit anything, even if it's on the ceiling or whatever. You can use the tidal wave to hit everything on the screen, and you have the defense block thing to be able to have like a support role as well. So she's just a really good character. And again, the way she's inserted into the story makes a little bit more sense, because like she's like the babysitter of the Yoshi kids. So there's a reason for her to join your party and to try and to come along. You know, it's not just like, oh, now this is a party member. You know, a little bit like Lackluster and What, you know, and the Yoshi. Um, Bo, I agree, is like definitely up in Pippet tier. One, she has an attitude, so again, she has a personality. She's like that kind of aloof sort of character with attitude that you just really love. In battle, she's amazing. No other character can just straight up do 10 HP of damage to one enemy like that, as long as they have no defense when you level her up. And two, like, and three, the way she's inserted into the story is really cool as well. I love how she's kind of like, I love how the way like Bo isn't like straight up, I'm gonna join your party and help you. She's like, I have this star spirit trapped here in my haunted castle, and if you want him back, you're gonna have to help me out first, you know. So I think that fits in with the fact that, yeah, she's a boo at the end of the day. You know, all of these characters are technically Mario enemies, you know. So I really like that. So Bo is definitely up in Pippet tier. Goombario is only awesome because, again, Goombario is so basic. Like, it's a Goomba who's like, I don't know, probably like 12, wearing a hat, and it's like, oh, take Goombario with you on your way from the Goomba village to the castle. It's like, okay, you know, it's like whatever. So, and Goombario just is like a less interesting version of Goombella. So I feel like it's only correct to put Goombario into only awesome tier. So this is tough now when we get down to this sort of level. Um, Flurry, I'm putting in only awesome because, like, and again, yeah, that's a good point. Awesome is generous for Goombario. all of the characters, partner characters in the first two games are cool. There's none of them where I'm like, blech, you know. They're all cool in their own way. It's just some of them are just cooler than others, is all. So Flurry, my thing with Flurry is this: she's a cool character design, right? I like this that it's basically like it's Tina Turner, right? Like it's just cool. She's just cool. Um, so I like her character design. I kind of dig this whole kind of like I'm a bit of a diva thing that she has going, but she becomes like really irrelevant really, really quickly. Like in battle, I think she's probably the partner character in Thousand Year Door that I use the least. I never use her. Like I never ever ever really use her for anything. She's not really versatile. Like there's no kind of selling point to her really over the other characters, or at least I can't remember what there being instances where I'm like, I can't remember any instance where I'm like, oh my god, Flurry is exactly the character we need for this, you know. So I don't know. And then as well, like in terms of the story, she just becomes like, it's like, oh yeah, she lives in the woods and we need her for something. I can't even remember what you need her for. Yeah, you use her for blowing stuff away. Like you use her for blowing stuff away in the overworld, but I'm kind of like, yeah, she just randomly lives in the boggly wood or whatever, and that's it. So it's kind of like I feel the same as you, Austin. Like I wish that I could like her more than I do because she's a cool character design, but I don't. That's the problem here. So Bombette, um, Bombette is Pipit tier. Like I think Bombette is cool because like she has kind of like a surprising amount of personality. Like the thing is, you don't get many opportunities in the game to be able to observe Bombette showing her personality, but when she does, like she's got this cool kind of like sassy girl next, but still like girl next door kind of vibe. She's just kind of cool. She's a strong independent woman. She's Ally McBeal, you know. um and she's just very useful in battle as well. Like I used Bombette for like the whole game. You're able to blow everything up. She's crazy powerful, and like as well, she makes sense in the story. In the story, you're in like the Cooper brothers' fortress where they're after imprisoning multiple random different bombs and things like that, and she's one of them, and she helps you bust out of jail. So it just makes sense. So Bombette, for all of those reasons, gets a spot in Pipit tier. And as well, I like the character design. Like I think it's, again, I really in one way I almost respect the designs in Paper Mario 1 more than the designs in Paper Mario 2 because of their subtlety. Like if you compare these two side by side, it kind of really becomes obvious that like, and one thing you can't see here is that Bombette, basically she's a pink bomb. The key on her back is like very subtly a heart. So rather than being a key shape, it's only very slightly adjusted to be a heart shape. And then her fuse is kind of like a ponytail. You can't see it here because it's like it's like lit at the moment. But there's not really much changed though. It's like very subtle, but gives her enough kind of individuality to be like more than just any other random overworld bomb. Whereas like I feel like in Thousand Year Door, like they almost like went too hard sometimes. Like Bobbery, as I say, is like, oh, they give him a big mustache and they give him kind of like a scowly eye and they give him like a moth-eaten old raggedy hat and they give him a big ship's wheel on his back. And it's cool. Like I'm not saying it's not cool. I think they all are cool, but I kind of really like the character designs of the partners in Paper Mario 1 are a little bit more kind of restrained. They just add just enough to be able to give them that amount of personality that you really like. I really like that, and I think it's just a good. It's just good. Like I think comparing these two is like a really good example of that as well. Um, Cooper. So I'm sorry if this insults you, Austin, but Cooper, I put in just awesome. And like my problem with Cooper is that he's very like personalityless. Like like he's a cool design. I really like him visually because he's like a blue Koopa, and then you have like the red accents of the little neckerchief and things like that. But like he just has like he doesn't have, even at the points where where they could show you his personality, he just doesn't really have much. They don't really, it doesn't really show very much at all. In battle, he's good. To be honest, I think that there have been times when I probably underestimated how good he can be. I think the fire shell can be very useful and the dizzy shell, but I just never really used them. I just default to using something else instead. Um, so he kind of gets left behind by all the other characters that have screen wipe attacks as well. Like he gets completely left behind once you have like Sushi and Bombette and the like. So I don't know. He's cool. His place in the story is also all right. There's that whole thing with like him and like doesn't he know the the archaeologist guy, that other Koopa, but then that's kind of like not really elaborated on or anything, so it's kind of just okay. Koops I really like. Koops is literally just like, again, it's the same as like the Goombario Goombella thing. Koops is just like a more expanded upon Cooper, cause he's like a dweeb, but he wants to be like a better guy. Like he wants to like develop a little bit more. He wants to get some more courage. Um, he wants to impress his girlfriend and all this kind of stuff. And he's also like really good in battle. The fact that like Coops has a defense point ends up becoming really, really useful in terms of strategy of being able to swap him to the front. As well, like that move that he has where he can like give you extra defense with like the defensive shell is really useful as well. Um, and the whole thing of like Coops in the story, because it's like his dad got eaten by the dragon, or by or whatever its name is, in the first chapter. It just all fits. So Coops is like the just the better version of you, like that, to quote the to paraphrase Fiona Apple. It's just the better version of Cooper. So then there's like Parakarry. Parakarry again, like, is it's tough, right? Because like also Parakarry is in the same like boat as Purple Azumarill, because I thought forever that Parakarry's shell was orange, but it's actually green. Um, I don't know. Like Parakarry, the only reason I almost feel like putting Parakarry up here is because you hear him more than the other party members. But the only reason that you hear him more than the other party members is because you deliver letters, and then all he says is like, "I've got a letter." So it's like he's trying to gaslight me into thinking that he's more than he actually is. But you're right. Like the only reason he joins your party is because you find him on top of the mountain, and you're like, okay, I need somebody who can fly. Oh, this guy lost all his letters. Oh, I'm gonna find him, and then he's gonna join my party. And then it's like that's it. So I agree. This is the tier list presentation mode. I think that's very fair. Like I think that's a fair tier list. We've also got like a good like smattering. Are we almost like equal? Let me see if we put this like in order of like the games. I'm just trying to see, like, I think there'll end up being more. Well, there are more party members in the second one anyway, aren't there? I think there are just generally more party members in the second one. No, I think I like shat on Paper Mario 1's party members on balance. Or am I thinking like, oh, it might just be equal? It's like, no, it's like 5-2. So So it's like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So there are eight in the first game, and in the second one there's one, two, three, four, five, six. There are fewer? Really? There are really eight party members in the first one, and then only seven in the second one, and one of them's optional, so technically there's only like six core. I never thought of that before. The crown is a bitch. Okay. She did get off easy. I had a feeling that was the case. The I'm still trying to like wrap my head around the fact that there are like eight party members in the first game and there's like only six core party members in the second game, and Miss Mouse is optional. I feel like I need to let's play this. Like I feel like I need to like play this game at some point and crash this plane with no survivors. Like there was a not. Do you want? This is crazy. Do you want to know what I was thinking today would be fun to do on stream? Oh, Thousand Year Door. I feel like I need to play this again. I haven't played it for years, and I feel like I should probably let's play it at some point.